All right, today we are diving into a book that basically throws a grenade into everything you thought you knew about one of the most famous buildings on Earth. We're talking about a theory so wild, it tries to rewrite hundreds of years of history. So let's get into it and explore the claim that the Taj Mahal is not what we think it is.
I mean, we all know the story, right? It's everywhere. You've heard it a million times. The heartbroken emperor, Shah Jahan, builds this breathtaking marble tomb for his favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal, as this grand gesture of eternal love. It's the ultimate romance. But the book we're looking at today asks a pretty jarring question.
What if that entire story, that beautiful, epic romance, is just flat out wrong? What if the Taj Mahal was standing for centuries before Shah Jahan was even a twinkle in his father's eye? That's the explosive idea at the very core of the book we're breaking down today.
Okay, so before we get into all the controversy, let's just quickly set the stage with the official version of events, the legend of the Taj that pretty much everyone knows and loves.
Yep, this is the classic story. You've got the grieving husband, this massive army of workers toiling away for over 2 decades, a genius architect, and of course the grand symbol of love. It's a story that's neat, tidy, and powerful. But according to the author we're covering, it's a complete fairy tale.
So that brings us to the man behind this whole thing, P.N. Oak. He put forward this really sweeping claim that a lot of what we consider to be iconic Islamic architecture in India are actually much older Hindu buildings that were just taken over and repurposed. And for him, the Taj Mahal was the ultimate example of this hidden history. Now, we gotta say, this theory is absolutely rejected by mainstream historians, but it's a story that just refuses to go away. And listen, he was not subtle about it at all. Just read this quote from his book. It tells you everything about the scale of what he was claiming. He wasn't trying to just tweak the details. He was arguing for a total teardown of the official history. For him, every single thing we believe about the Taj is wrong.
So here's the theory in a nutshell. Oak says the building was originally a Hindu temple palace known as Tajmahal. He claims Shah Jahan didn't build a thing. He just seized this magnificent palace from a Rajput king named Jai Singh and turned it into a tomb for his wife. And suddenly, the whole story flips. It's not a story about creation, it's a story about appropriation.
All right, if you're going to make a claim that big, you better have some receipts. And the author believes he does. So let's put on our detective hats for a bit and look at the key pieces of evidence he uses to build his case, starting with Shah Jahan's own court records.
Okay, this is pretty interesting. The author's #1 piece of evidence comes from Shah Jahan's own official court chronicle, the Badshahnaमा. He zeroes in on these key Persian phrases. He argues that Manzil-e-Raja Mansingh means palace of Raja Mansingh, implying it was already there. Then there's Dar-e-Waz on Ali Manzil, which he translates as in exchange of that grand palace, suggesting a trade, not a construction project. And the real kicker for him is the word Barguzidand, which he says means was selected, as in they chose an existing spot to bury her, they didn't build a new one.
Next up, we have a letter supposedly written by Shah Jahan's own son, Aurangzeb. But the really critical thing to notice here is the date, 1652. Now, if the official story is true and it took 22 years to build, this is a full year before the Taj was even finished.
So, get this. In the letter, Aurangzeb apparently talks about visiting the tomb and finding it in pretty rough shape. He mentions that the dome is leaking, there's water damage in some of the upper rooms after the rainy season, and he even ordered some quick fixes. This leads the author to ask a pretty simple question. How could a brand new building, one that's not even technically finished, already be falling apart? For Oak, the answer is simple. It couldn't. It had to be an old building.
And then, the author basically weaponizes the official history against itself by pointing out all these glaring inconsistencies. I mean, look at this. Even the most basic facts are all over the place. How long did it take to build? Who was the architect? What year did Mumtaz even die? How much did it cost? The records are a mess. For Oak, this isn't just shoddy bookkeeping. To him, it's proof that the whole story was made up later and they couldn't get their facts straight.
Okay, now let's talk about the building itself. The author argues it's absolutely packed with Hindu design elements. He claims that pinnacle on top of the main dome isn't an Islamic crescent moon, but a Hindu trident. He points out cobra patterns in the archways and notes that the main hall has an octagonal shape, which is a secret design in Hindu architecture. And maybe most mysteriously, he claims there are whole floors sealed up in the basement that are hiding the building's true history.
And this is where the whole theory gets really intense. Because for the author, this wasn't just some historical mix-up. No, he alleges it's a massive, deliberate cover-up, a conspiracy to keep the so-called truth
hidden. I mean, just listen to his own words. They are incredibly strong. He truly believed that the entire world, academics, the media, you name it, wasn't just ignoring him, but actively working to silence him. He even compared himself to Galileo, fighting against a powerful system that refused to accept a new truth.
And to support this conspiracy claim, the book points to this one incident as Exhibit A. In the 80s, an American academic named Marvin H. Mills got interested in the controversy and offered to scientifically date a piece of the Taj using a special technique. This could have settled the debate once and for all. So he sends a formal proposal to India's official archaeological body. And their response, as quoted in the book, a flat no, saying they didn't think any more investigation was desirable. For Oak, this was the smoking gun, proof they were hiding something. So let's just step back and think. If any of this were true, what would that even mean? Well, according to the author, the consequences are absolutely massive, and they go way, way beyond just one building in India.
You see, for P.N. Oak, the Tajmahal wasn't just a one-off. It was the key that could unlock a completely hidden history. He went on to argue that thousands of other famous Islamic buildings all over the world, from Spain to Jerusalem, were also captured structures. He was basically calling for us to throw out our entire understanding of architectural history and start over.
And what about Shah Jahan? Well, this theory completely flips his legacy on its head. The Romantic emperor, the great builder, gone. In its place, the author paints this picture of a ruthless conqueror who took beautiful things instead of making them. This quote from the book really just says it all. It's a brutal takedown of the entire Romantic legend.
So in the end, digging into this theory makes you ask some really big questions, doesn't it? How do we decide what's true about the past? Who gets to write the official story? P.N. Oak's book isn't just about architecture. It's a challenge to the idea of history itself. And it leaves us with this one final thought to chew on. When a story has been told for so long that it feels like it's carved in stone, what does it really take to tell a different one?